I want a boyfriend. I want somebody to hold me at night. I need somebody to call me and be like, babe, in their deep voice, and be like, baby, I miss you. Do you want to go cinema? Do you want to go dinner? I want somebody to pray with. I want somebody to read the Bible with. I want someone, God. So stop playing games. Bring me my Boaz.
But the truth is, God's purpose for most of us surpasses us being somebody's wife. It surpasses us being somebody's mother. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is a special day because this is a collaboration with Janielle Wright here on YouTube. Now guys, she is gorgeous. Go and see this woman's makeup. Flawless. Oh, come and see just skills and talents. Like, she's absolutely beautiful. I feel like she's my sister. Like, we get each other on a level. Honestly, like, where's this woman been all of my life? Like, I really need you guys to go and watch her video after this one. If you don't know, Janielle got a boo, and she ain't just got a boo, she is married. Janielle is actually married and she's got a beautiful daughter called Nova. Gorgeous child. I know you guys would love to see her, so head over to her channel. And if you're coming over here from Janielle's channel, hi, my name's Courtney. Join the crew. Now, if you're new to my channel, you might not know, but I have been single for over 1 year now, and I'm actually 19, and it's been an interesting time, and I'm gonna talk to you guys about what it is I've learned about the season of singleness and what I've really been taught about how to make the most of this season. So I'm hoping it will help anybody watching this who might be single, or even if you're in a relationship, stick around and watch. Yeah guys, I hope this blesses you. I hope you guys go and check out Janielle's channel and definitely subscribe. As always, I love you, so let's get right into the video. Now, God knows I cannot beat my face the way Janielle can, and when I get to Toronto, she's going to be doing some things to this, I'm telling you. But I'm gonna try to look cute today. But we're just gonna go for, I think we're just gonna go for something quite pinky, romantic. But today I wanted to do a video talking to you guys about the beauty in the season of singleness and why we should kind of value being single more than we kind of do. If you're new to my channel, hey, what's good? But if you're not, then you know that for a while now I have been single. I have been single for over 1 year, and I'm young, you know, I'm 19, but it would be nice to have somebody by my side to call my own, to call my boo, but I don't. And over the last year, I am a Christian and I've been talking to God a lot, and we've been talking a lot about what it means to make the most out of your season of singleness. How do you actually go about not feeling lonely, not feeling useless, not feeling upset in a season where you've been single for over a year, for a couple of months, for, you know, some years in fact. And one thing that I've learned is that in order to not see your season of singleness or your time of being single as a wasted time or a lonely time or just a sad and depressing time, is to actually acknowledge the importance and the beauty of being single and of being alone and of being isolated. And it was something that was kind of counterintuitive for me, because for so long social media, films would tell you that as a woman, being single and your time of being alone, especially when you get to a certain age between like 18 and 25, if you haven't got a boyfriend or a partner, or you're not dating in that time, you're wasting your time. Like, you should actually start being concerned, because how can you be single at such a prime age? We should be looking to settle down. But if you're single, you have a serious problem. Like, you need to start wondering what's wrong with you. So when I got to 18 and I broke up with one of my boyfriends, my last boyfriend, I kind of just started thinking, Lord, like, what's wrong with me? This is the time for me to be living it up. Like, this is the time for me to be really, you know, working to get that ring. I don't know what you're doing. Why are you not bringing a man? And it was time actually for me to not focus on getting the ring, but for me to focus on God, and for me to start actually focusing on becoming the person who it is I wanted to be. And that for me was one of the biggest revelations I had last year, which was that you're about to enter a season where it's just gonna be you. It's just gonna be you and me, and we're really gonna start revealing to you some parts of your heart that you have locked away and some parts of your feelings that you refuse to acknowledge, and we're going to look at the purpose that I have for you. We're gonna start looking at the plans that I have for you, and in order for us to execute the things that we need to do well, you're not going to get a boyfriend. And I was just thinking,
I know this whole, you and me thing, it's all romantic, it's all nice, and, I'm a Christian through and through. Thank you, Jesus, for the blood that was shed for me on Calvary. But I want a boyfriend. I want somebody to hold me at night. I need somebody to call me and be like, babe, in their deep voice, and be like, baby, I miss you. Do you want to go cinema? Do you want to go dinner? I want somebody to pray with. I want somebody to read the Bible with. I want someone, God. So stop playing games. Bring me my Boaz.
And he was just like, nah, you're funny, it's not gonna happen. So I was quite confused in the beginning, because it was a lonely period of everyone around me has a boyfriend, everyone around me is enjoying themselves, everybody around me is enjoying the beauty that is relationships and marriage and engagements, and I watch love movies and I want to have that. I want to have a college romance. And he was just like, listen, you've got to learn to fall in love with yourself, you've got to learn to fall in love with me, and you've got to learn to chase your dreams before you learn how to become a wife, before you become someone's wife, before somebody even recognizes you as their wife. And that was something that was quite mind-blowing, that it was like, before somebody actually recognizes me as their bone for their bone, their flesh of their flesh, I need to spend my time in God's presence. And I'm trying to find my eyeliner, basically. And as much as I felt like I had it all figured out, as much as I felt like, oh, this season is gonna fly by, every day proved a different struggle. Every day revealed to me another part of this journey. And bear in mind, I knew this journey was not going to be easy. I knew that I was not going to suddenly wake up tomorrow and be like, oh my God, thank God for the season of singleness. I knew that there was gonna be times when I would be frustrated, but I didn't really know when those times would come, and I didn't know just how frustrating it would actually be. So over the last couple of days, whilst I've been praying for God to show me why the season of singleness is so important. Why is it that me being alone and me or you being isolated so important for the both of us? And I just thought, okay, God, teach me something about who you are and what this season is, so that I get it, so that I actually see the beauty in this season like you said I should. I'm gonna do my eyeliner off camera, because I tried to do it on camera before. No.
As you can see, I look like I just came from the battlefield because of putting these eyelashes on.
There is two sides of this season of singleness, and a lot of the time we hype up the first part, which is the season of singleness is there for you to prepare yourself to become somebody's wife. And the truth of the matter is, that's only half of its purpose. The first part of the season of singleness is to get you alone so that God can mold you into the person who it is you are meant to be, not just for yourself, but for the purpose that He has for you. And sometimes as women, so many people have focused on our season of singleness being so much about becoming somebody's wife, preparing to become mothers, that we think our purpose and God's intention and only intention when He put us on this planet was to become somebody's wife and to become the mother of many children. And the truth is, that is only a very small part of the plans that God has for you. Some of you may not even want to get married because God has told you that's not what you're going to do. And during this season, God is going to have to mold you, not simply into somebody's wife, but into the daughter that He needs you to be. And some of us have amazing talents, amazing skills, amazing dreams that we think we don't have to cultivate during our season of singleness, because this season is simply meant to prepare us to be a wife. But the truth is, God's purpose for most of us surpasses us being somebody's wife. It surpasses us being somebody's mother. It's actually for us to be His daughter and to bring Him glory. Your talent is not simply that you're going to be an amazing wife. It is that you are a good speaker, you're very intelligent, you are beautiful, you are inspiring, you are motivating, you are amazing at science, you are amazing at writing, you are amazing at blogging, you are amazing at constructing stuff and engineering, you are amazing at traveling, you are amazing at teaching, you are amazing at loving people, you are amazing at caring for the elderly, you are amazing at sharing wisdom, you are amazing at teaching the word, you are amazing at teaching sociology, whatever it is, you are amazing at that. That's the talent that God is going to use to raise your own ministry, to give you a purpose. And you need to spend this season, this time that you have to be by yourself to develop that. You need to start going on courses, you need to start spending time reading books. This time that you would spend going on dates and spending hours and hours on the phone to your boyfriend is a time that you need to start looking at lectures, start looking at seminars, going to retreats, going on a course, reading about what you're interested in, becoming the best in your field, becoming the, you know, the master of your trade. That's what this time is meant to be for. But instead, you're using it to think about how lonely you are and how much time you have on your hands, and time which you wish was filled with a boyfriend. And if there's anything that you should know, is that there are some things that when you're single and you feel as though you have time for a boyfriend and a boyfriend simply isn't coming, it's usually because God wants you to use this time that you think you have for a relationship and use it to start building something else, to start falling in love with what he truly needs you to fall in love with in this season. This is a time for you to start building your ministry. This is time for you to maybe start investing and making a business that is needed for the kingdom. It is necessary that in this season you start, you start traveling around the world and teaching people the things which you know, the things which you are good at, to help make this world a better place. That's what this season is for. But instead, you're spending all this time thinking, I'm just missing a boyfriend, which is not what this season is about. This season is about to be filled with your purpose. It's about to be filled with God's plan for you. You need to get ready for that. You need to prepare for that. You need to start making a way for that, instead of casting your eyes onto finding your bae. Do you understand what I'm saying? The next issue is that this is a time to work on you inside. Sometimes when we're single and we're alone, it's now time for us to face the insecurities and the fears and the pain that we buried from ages ago, the anger that we buried from years and years ago, from that guy who hurt you, from your father that left you, from your mum who said so many bad words about you. It's time for us to heal those broken wounds and those broken pains. And in this time of isolation, this is going to be a time for you to recognize those pains inside of you. You haven't got the crutch of your friends anymore. You haven't got the crutch of your boyfriend anymore. You haven't got the crutch of your girlfriend anymore. You haven't got the crutch of people turning around and telling you, you are good enough, you are fine because I love you. No, now we have to face the real issues, which is that inside you're broken, you're tired, you're angry, you're bitter, and you're really, really in pain. We have to deal with that here and now, because now you're alone and now we can really fix you. And initially, that process, when I first started that process, Lord, I was ready to quit. I was just saying, okay, I'm not a Christian anymore. This stuff is too painful. I don't understand what the heck is going on. Why is God hurting me? And I thought that God initially was hurting me. And it took me a long time to realize that when you have to deal with pain, you have to face the wound. And when you face your wounds, you feel the pain. You feel that pain again. You know, it's like when you see something kind of cringy on TV, say if somebody has like a cut in their arm, you kind of feel that a little bit of that pain because you're looking at it. When you have to face your wound, you start to feel that pain again. And it's the first step. Feeling that pain again is the first step to, one, you recognize it. Secondly, now let's deal with it. You have to confront to fight. And that's one thing which being single taught me. You have to confront your issues. You You can't just sweep them under the rug. You can't just lock them up in some deep part of your heart and think that they're not going to manifest in your thoughts, that they're not going to manifest in the words that you speak towards people, the words that you speak to yourself, the words that you feed yourself, and the things that you think you deserve are impacted by those things that you have buried so deep inside of your heart. So let's deal with them so that they don't come to bite you back in the bum later on. And I just thought to myself, okay, so now we have to deal with me. And when you're alone, you have to deal with you. You've got to find the things that you don't like about yourself. I once heard this quote, which is that nobody will like you if you don't like yourself. And a lot of the time when you're thinking, oh, I want a boyfriend, I want a boyfriend, I want a boyfriend, the reason why you're thinking that way is because you think you're lit. Like, you actually think,
I'm the cream of the crop. Anybody who gets me, boy, you better count your lucky stars, because I'm phenomenal woman, I am.
And when you're single, it makes you realize that, okay, sit down, would you actually want to be with you? Initially, you'll tell yourself, yeah, I think I'm great, like I've achieved all of these things. Why would nobody want to be with me? But when you're alone and you start hearing the thoughts which you have, when you start assessing the fears that you have, when you start really seeing the true side of yourself, the pain that you have inside of you, you realize this is not what I want to give to somebody right now. You know, you start recognizing that there's an anger, there's a jealousy, there's a bitterness, there's a frustration inside of you that actually, if you were to have to be your friend, you wouldn't want to deal with that. You wouldn't want to have to come into somebody's life and have to deal with the heartache that they've been dealing with for 3 years. Why would you want to do that? And then you start recognizing, well, actually, if I was having to decide whether to be my friend or not, or whether to be my partner or not, maybe I wouldn't be. Maybe I wouldn't choose to be the partner of the person who I am right now. That in itself is painful because it hurts your ego so much to realize that actually you're not as phenomenal of a woman as you thought you were. And when we really sit down and think about it, we see the things that we actually need to start working on. We see the things that we actually need to start confronting, and the demons inside of us which have been haunted us for years and years and years that we actually need to start dealing with because we threw them under the rug before. Think about it, like, God doesn't want to bring you brokenness, so why would he take you as a broken person to somebody else? Unless he's ordained that person to fix you. But sometimes you have to realize that your partner is not meant to be your fixer. They are meant to enhance the things in you which are beautiful. They're meant to shed light on the parts of you which are great. And yes, behind closed doors, they will help you fight the battles that you're fighting together. But you don't need to go to somebody to be your fixer. Especially when you have this time of singleness, to be fixed by the person who knows you inside and outside, by the person who made you and understands how you work, what your weaknesses are, the bits of you to start pushing, the bits of you to relieve pain, a person who knows the parts where you're hurting, the things that make you shed tears, the person who knows all of that. They can fix you now in your singleness. Instead, you want to run to somebody who can fix you, but they don't know you like how God knows you. And so they're going to start pushing you in the wrong places. They're going to start breaking you in the places where you don't need to be broken, and they don't know the parts of you that need to be fixed. You need to go to the right healer, and that's what you need to spend your time in God's presence doing, not just for you, but for the sake of your ministry, for the sake of your journey, for the sake of your happiness, for the sake of your future. And that is quite difficult to accept because sometimes you think, oh, I'm okay, I'm fine, I don't have anything wrong with me, I don't have all of these dysfunctions that they have in the world, I am great. But you're not. You put on this mask to the whole world that I am happy being alone, I am happy, you know, with my job, I'm happy with my career, I'm happy with my family, I'm happy with my friendship groups, my whole life is together. But when you go to bed and you lay your head on your pillow at night and you're by yourself for real, you cry, you feel empty, you feel lonely, you feel depressed, you feel hated, discouraged. And it's time, when you're in your season of singleness, this season of growth, this season of recuperation, You have to take your time to heal. And then the second half was, okay, as much as I've said all these things about it being for you, once you fix yourself, when you feel a bit whole, when you're feeling like, okay, I think I've got this on lock, I'm feeling a lot happier than I used to feel before, you know, I don't feel empty. I found my purpose. I have found my calling. I feel like I'm really doing the work that was intended for me to do in my life. You know, I'm focusing on my studies, I'm focusing on getting this certificate, I'm focusing on getting this degree, I'm focusing on getting that promotion, I'm focusing on traveling. And the reason why you need to dedicate the season of singleness to these things is because there are some things which you can do when you're single that you cannot do when you're in a relationship. Such as, if an opportunity comes for you now, like a business opportunity or a career opportunity, or opportunity to travel across the world, to go and learn or to go and teach. Right now, in your capacity of being single, you only have to think about you. All you have to think about is, okay, am I ready to go? You know, you don't have to think about your parents when you get to a certain age. You don't have to think about your siblings when you get to a certain age of like your youth. You just pack your bags and go, bye, flying out, juices. But when you have a partner, and you have a serious partner, and you have a husband or a wife, you can't just decide that I'm gonna go and fly all the way across the world next week to go and learn. Sorry? No, you're not. I, as your wife, I, as your husband, I have a life that you need to consider as well. You have to bear in mind the other person's needs. And when you're single and there are all these things which you need to do to pursue your calling, sometimes it is a weight on you to have to consider somebody else's emotions, somebody else's life journey. Like, this is a lot. I just want to be me. I don't want to have to think about the repercussions for you while I'm thinking about the repercussions for myself. That's too much stress for my age. So that's the perfect time to use the season of singleness to pursue all those things. Let me spray, then put my highlight on. Pop.
Look at that glow. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Yes, that is what I'm talking about.
Then the last thing is actually, yes, preparing to become somebody's partner, preparing to join somebody on their life journey and becoming, you know, one with them. And once you find that wholeness, you can prepare to become one with somebody. The word says to become one. A lot of people take it out of context and think you and I are to become one, therefore we should come with half and half. How can you come to somebody as half a person, as in broken, half a person? You've left another part of you behind, God knows where, and you want to join another half a person and think that that's going to be functional. That doesn't make sense. It's two people, two whole people, two people who have found wholeness, who have found themselves as individuals, then become one flesh, become one person, to now move as an even more powerful force. So when you're going to become somebody's wife and you're working to become somebody's wife, sometimes when we draw on Genesis and we work on, you know, looking at how Joseph saw Eve and he was like, this is the bone for my bone, the flesh of my flesh, and we look at Proverbs 31 and we think, oh, that virtuous woman, I want to become the virtuous woman. I don't know if it's that we think the white dress and the ring and the big day and the hashtag and the Bella Niger pictures are what's going to make us into that virtuous woman. It's not. That, you know, popping beat, that amazing, you know, makeup, that flawless look, that walking down the aisle, we think that's what's going to transform us and what's going to have to make us into that virtuous woman. But the truth is, you walk out of that church after saying those vows, the same person. It's only that now you have more pressure on you because the life of somebody else is also dependent on the decisions that you make. You're not simply deciding for you anymore. You have to think about this guy, you have to think about this girl, you have to think about what are the consequences for my actions for the both of us now, because we're playing on the same team. So you better be ready for that before you walk down that aisle. So the truth is, virtuous women and women who get recognized as the bone of bone and flesh of flesh are made into that in the presence of God. It's that simple. Spend your singleness in God's presence, because he's the only one who can make you into the woman you need to be for somebody to appreciate. Adam didn't know he needed Eve, but when he met Eve, after she had spent time in God's presence, because he made her, she was right in front of him, and God made her into the woman that she needed to be. It was then when God revealed her after spending all that time in his presence and actually brought her to Adam that he said, this is my wife, because she had just came out of the presence. So spend your singleness in his presence so he can make you into the virtuous woman who you need to be. I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips. You know, if you want to learn how to be virtuous, if you want to become a business-minded woman like the Proverbs 31 woman was, if you want to become a woman who is so, I don't know, so revered that people look at her and just think, wow, God bless her husband for having such a wife. If that's the sort of woman you have to be, no man, your husband can't make you into that. Your fiance can't make you into that. Some guys are under the impression, like Lucas from Backchat, if I want to make you a wife, don't worry, I'll spend time making you into the wife. That's not you. That's not your responsibility. You can't do that. You cannot do. Have you even perfected being a man yet? Have you even perfected becoming a husband yet? For you to now teach me as a man who I should be as a woman? Don't be silly. You need somebody who knows you to a T, who knows your weaknesses, who knows your strength, in order to tell you what it is you need to work on and what it is you need to start, you know, focusing on in order to get ready for that season in your life. And it's going to be beautiful to discover it, but you don't want to be discovering it whilst having the pressure of actually having a husband on your back. Because when you're married and then you're actually trying to learn how to be a wife, there's so much pressure on you. Have you ever heard stories from like your family? It's like, oh, so and so got married and she went to her husband's house and Lord, she was a wreck. We don't need those stories from the folk tellers. So please enjoy this season of singleness. Make the most of it, love it, embrace it. You will find who you are, you will pursue your purpose, and when that Mr. Right comes, he'll just think, wow, this is my wife. This is her in all her glory. God, thank you. That's my prayer for you, beautiful woman. So I hope that this blessed you. I will talk to you all later. I love you. Stay blessed, stay beautiful, and stay growing.